Alrighty, we are back. You're listening to Mind Body Radio. This is the Daily Show, and our next guest is calling from the state of Oklahoma. Let's welcome Dr. Larry Ward to the program. Dr. Ward, hi there.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for setting some time aside with us. How are you?
I'm well in spite of the windy weather we've had recently.
Glad to hear you're doing all right, Dr. Ward, and we're going to be talking about your work today as a chiropractic physician, but there's more to it than that. You're involved in acupuncture and naturopathic medicine and a bunch of other stuff. I'll let you take it from here. Tell us more about yourself.
Well, it's pretty simple. I believe I'm a conduit for healing, and however I can bring that about within my scope of practice, I do so.
Okay, so can you give us a background here? Why get into the more what some would call holistic or alternative techniques here?
Well, it's just about everyone that I know that is in healing has gotten there because of their own maladies, or someone in their circle of family has had problems of health, and that led them to look to how they could bring about a difference. I personally got into it when I was extremely sick when I was younger. I was at one point on 9 prednisone a day, and a friend of mine said, "I'm tired of listening to you whine. You've been to all these other doctors. Go see this nutritionist." And I did, and it was a gentleman by the name of Earl Haworth and his daughter Connie, and they did iridology. And I thought that was just voodoo, but I said I would listen. I would consider doing what they said, and sure enough, by the time I was done with that appointment, Connie had listed out all the things wrong with me that she had no way of knowing otherwise. And still a skeptic, I said, I'll give it a shot, for a couple of weeks. Here's a map of stuff to take for the next couple of months, but I thought I'd give it a couple of weeks. And didn't think it had anything to do with the 3 jobs I was working or the 70 hours a week, go, do that we do in our lives. I did the stuff for a couple of weeks. I did 4 or 5 of the top things they suggested, and it so rocked my world, I quit all my jobs and went to work for them stocking herbs in the back.
Wow.
A year later, I was running the store. A couple years later, I was working for a larger conglomerate, and after working there for 2 or 3 years, my boss at that facility at Aikens here in Tulsa came to me and said, "You've already outgrown us. What are you going to do now?" I said, "I have no clue." He said, "Why don't you go be a chiropractor?" Well, I really didn't have an inkling to really know what that entailed, and the more I learned, the more I knew, and consequently, here I am, about 800 hours post-grad of my doctorate, doing all the things that I do.
Wow, great. So, quite the journey. It sounds like you've been on, from a complete skeptic to being very involved.
Indeed.
Yeah. Now, tell me, who do you like to work with? Who's walking through your doors nowadays?
Well, the patients, we have a couple different clientele. I work with a lot of people just full of gut-wrenching problems, from thyroid to adrenals to issues that they've been the gambit and taking prescriptions and stuff for. And of course, I never suggest somebody stop taking the prescriptions that another physician has prescribed. But here's some alternatives that you might consider taking supplementally as well, and see how you do. This won't tear up your gut, for example, or that would help energy levels, etc. And that tends to get people's attention when they're feeling better than they were before. My goal is to try to help them get back to normal, whatever that is.
Yeah. So, tell me, what does one do to come prepared to see a chiropractor or a naturopath? Do I just show up as any other appointments, or is there anything more involved?
Well, for example, if somebody, when I'm dealing with a structural patient, for chiropractic care, my focus is what is the interference? What is causing the abnormal physiological reactions that they're having? They can't lift their arm, or they have neck pain to the point that it's debilitating, or when they walk they have shooting pains down their leg. I'm looking for what's causing the interference. Structurally, it's important to have the alignment to allow the nervous system to express itself as it should. And therefore, if we have a vertebra that's out of whack, then we can put that back in the correct juxtaposition, it's called, and give the body the opportunity to be as it should. Well, in that same sense, naturopathically, homeopathically, however you want to look at that holistic healing, it's virtually the same. What's interfering with that blood sugar reaction? What's interfering with that gastric distress? What's causing the inflammatory response? Because when it all boils down, whether it's structure or whether it's physiological, whatever it is, 9 times out of 10, it's inflammation as a root cause.
Mm-hmm. Now, how much does diet have to do with any of this? Is that a huge factor, or is that kind of complementary to what you're doing?
Well, it depends on what camp you talk to be honest. Chris, as far as I'm concerned, it plays a role significantly enough that if somebody is malnutritioned because they're eating out all the time and they're getting genetically modified foods and their aches and pains are significantly larger and they have no energy at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I always look to the basics, and one of the first basics is hydration. One of the second basics is what else is passing your lips.
Mm-hmm. And now, moving forward, what's on your agenda, Dr. Ward? Any kind of goal you have with your practice, or anything you're working towards?
Well, personally, we have a lot of patients right now. We're doing intravenous supplying nutrients intravenously. We have a moderate to large practice that we can help mineral support, we can help vitamin support, we can help not only energetically but help strip away those toxins out of the system that might be interfering. So we do a lot of IV therapies. Additionally, we have a weight loss clinic that utilizes the Zerona, it's called Zerona fat loss laser, that helps liquefy and put into interstitial fluid the fat content. The FDA cleared that, I believe, was 3.72 inches in a treatment protocol, and we're averaging about 5.5 inches of fat loss in that protocol. So that's important not only for self-image, but when we think about the toxins being stored in that fat, that's why the body is sticking that fat away, is to try to protect itself. So if we get that fat gone, we're also helping detoxify. So just more of that.
All right, exciting. And we are about approaching our deadline here, Dr. Ward. I will leave you the spotlight, though, again. Any other thoughts or anything else on your mind before we wrap up?
Chris, this time of year is so stressful on people. I can't play the tune any louder that the significance of those stressors can interfere with the physiological function. So my encouragement would be to your listeners that don't forget to breathe. Don't forget the basics that allow you to take what's necessary and leave the rest, and give the psychological support to the physiology, because it can make such the world of difference. And that's why at this time of year, I know so many people have such a significant issue with their health. We just want to encourage them to get lots of sleep, stay well hydrated, and don't forget to breathe.
All right, wonderful. And how about some contact information if anyone out there would be interested in working with you? Is that something you're open with?
You bet. One of our websites is naturalhealthassociates.org, all one word. We're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, The phone number is 918-794-0310. But don't call today because we're all doing the Thanksgiving vacation time.
Yes, we are. And same goes to mindbodyradio.com. We're going to enjoy a little vacation here. So if you want to call us too, wait till Friday.
There we go.
Dr. Ward, thank you again.
Chris, it's been a pleasure. Have a great day.
You too. And a big thank you to our audience, mindbodyradio.com. We'll be right back.